What's up, Leeds faithful? Welcome back to the channel that brings you all the drama from Elland Road. And trust me, today we've got a triple bombshell that's going to shake the very foundations of what you think you know about this Premier League campaign. The Whites are back in the big league, but behind the scenes there's absolute chaos brewing. We're talking about a striker who's got Pep Guardiola and Vincent Kompany singing his praises, but Leeds fans are still skeptical. Then there's a player who was literally crowned player of the season just months ago. But now Daniel Farke is reportedly worried about his form. And if that wasn't enough, we got a defender that Farke claims he values, but is about to get shipped off to Germany faster than you can say championship winners. This isn't just transfer gossip, Leeds faithful. This is about the soul of our Premier League survival. Each of these stories connects to something much bigger happening at Elland Road. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why the next 3 weeks could define our entire season. So smash that like button. If you're ready for the truth, drop a comment telling me which story shocks you the most. And don't forget to subscribe because we're bringing you exclusive Leeds content every single day. The notifications bell is your best friend right now. But here's the thing that's got me absolutely buzzing with excitement and dread at the same time. Our new striker has already been compared to a Leeds legend before even playing a proper match. And what Graham Smith just said about him will blow your mind. Lucas Mecha? Remember that name, Leeds faithful, because this German striker is either going to be our Premier League savior or our biggest gamble yet. And Graham Smith just dropped some serious praise that's got me questioning everything I thought I knew about our transfer strategy. Listen to this. The Yorkshire Evening Post's Graham Smith says he's quite impressed by Nmecha, calling him dangerous after watching him in pre-season. But here's the kicker that's got my head spinning. This is the only attacking player we've signed this summer. While other Premier League clubs are splashing cash on multiple forwards, Daniel Farke has put all his eggs in the Nmecha basket. The 26-year-old came in on a free transfer from VfL Wolfsburg, and get this, Wolfsburg actually wanted to keep him. That tells you everything about his quality. He's already bagged 2 goals in 2 preseason games in Germany, and Smythe is raving about how mobile he is for a big guy and how he loves taking defenders on. But here's the moment that gave me absolute chills. Smythe described watching Nmecha pick up the ball on the left, turn and drive straight at a defender with such conviction that the defender had no choice but to foul him. That's the kind of directness and fearlessness we've been missing in the final third. But here's what's got me both excited and terrified. Nmecha himself thinks we can survive relegation. He said, "I'm really optimistic. I think with the team we already have and few more new people coming in, we can do a really good job." The confidence is there, but Leeds fans are greeting this signing with skepticism because of his injury history. Pep Guardiola loves this guy. Vincent Kompany rates him. But the big question hanging over Elland Road isn't about his ability, it's about his availability. Can he stay fit for a brutal Premier League campaign where we're facing Everton, Arsenal and Newcastle in our first 3 games? The pressure is massive on Nmecha's shoulders because he's literally our only new attacking threat. While we've strengthened defense and midfield with 7 signings, everything in the final third depends on this one man staying healthy and firing. But wait until you hear what's happening with our player of the season, because that story is going to make you question everything about our Premier League readiness. This one hurts, Leeds faithful, because we're talking about Dan James, the Welsh wizard who was absolutely untouchable last season. The man who scored 12 goals and provided 9 assists. The player who single-handedly dragged us over the championship finish line with his clutch moments and creative brilliance. But here's the gut punch. Graham Smith is reporting that James looks rusty in pre-season and hasn't been back to his best. The 27-year-old who was practically consistent every time he put on a Leeds shirt is now struggling, and Daniel Farke should be worried. Think about this for a second. James had arguably the best campaign of his career, earning himself a well-deserved new contract. He was our shining light, our go-to guy when we needed magic in the final third. But now, just weeks before we face Everton in our Premier League opener, he's having a frustrating half against Paderborn and looking completely off his game. The statistics don't lie. Last season, James was creating 1.51 chances per 90 minutes, had 142 touches in the opposition box, and won 37 fouls. Those are elite numbers that show just how crucial he was to our championship triumph. But something fundamental has changed, and that's terrifying. This is the same player who created 5 chances per game, had 142 touches in the opposition box, and was absolutely unplayable for championship defenders. But something's not clicking in preseason, and with our opening fixtures being Everton, Arsenal, and Newcastle, we cannot afford for our best player to be out of form. What makes this even more concerning is that while James is struggling, other players like Jadon Bogle are being described as world-class in preseason. And even Largi Ramazani is showing more spark. This could give Farke some serious thinking to do about his starting 11. The Welsh winger agreed that new contract because he earned it, but now he needs to prove he deserves it all over again. With the Premier League around the corner and our survival depending on making a quick start, James needs to rediscover that championship winning magic that made him our player of the season. But if you think that's concerning, wait until you hear about the defender who Farke claims he values but is about to ship off to Germany, because this story exposes something much deeper about how our club operates. Isaac Schmidt, the Swiss utility man who cost us $2.5 million, rising to $6 million, but has played just 251 minutes across 14 games. And now, in the most Leeds United move ever, Daniel Farke says here, values him, while simultaneously agreeing to loan him out to Werder Bremen. This is the story that perfectly sums up everything wrong with how we handle transfers, Leeds faithful. We paid serious money for a versatile defender who can play fullback, wingback, or winger, but then gave him fewer minutes than he was getting at St. Gallen before we signed him. Schmidt played 71 minutes in 12 championship games. That's basically nothing. The 25-year-old has been crying out for opportunities, and Leeds fans have been frustrated for him because anyone with eyes can see he should be getting more game time. But instead of giving him a proper chance, we're shipping him off to the Bundesliga. The numbers are absolutely damning. Schmidt had 0 goals and 0 assists in his 251 minutes. But how can you expect output when you're getting scraps of game time? This is a player who was a regular starter for St. Gallen in European competitions, yet we treated him like a training ground passenger. Here's the kicker that shows you how backwards our thinking is. Patrick Berger from Sky Sports Germany reports that Bremen have reached an agreement in principle for Schmidt, but Leeds are still negotiating whether it includes a purchase option or obligation. We're not even sure if we want him back. But get this, Farke supposedly values his presence around the squad. If you value someone so much, why are you letting them go? Why didn't you play them when we were struggling for depth? Why are you now scrambling to find a replacement before you let him leave? Schmidt threatened to leave previously if things didn't change. And honestly, who can blame him? The guy signed a 4-year deal expecting opportunities, but instead he's watched from the sidelines while we complained about lacking depth in multiple positions he can cover. And here's what makes this even more frustrating. Max Wober is also heading to Bremen on loan. We're basically giving them 2 of our defenders while we're heading into the most demanding league in the world. The worst part, Farke admits Schmidt was present for preseason in Germany, unlike Patrick Bamford, who was left at home. But injuries have kept him out of the 3 friendlies, so we're shipping out a player we haven't even seen in action during our Premier League preparations. Final reflection, Leeds faithful, these 3 stories paint a picture of a club that's still learning how to operate at our highest level. We've got a striker we're putting all our faith in despite fan skepticism, a player of the season who's looking rusty when we need him most, and a defender we claim to value but are happy to loan out. The Premier League waits for no one, and with Everton, Arsenal, and Newcastle coming up fast, these decisions could define our entire season. Are we ready for the challenge, or are we setting ourselves up for another heartbreak? What do you think, Leeds faithful? Can Nmecha prove the doubters wrong? Will James rediscover his championship magic? And was letting Schmidt go the right move? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button if this got you thinking, and make sure you're subscribed because the transfer window is far from over. Marching on together.